Rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. My dear brothers and audience, my topic to deal with you today is Islamic criminal law, the application of morality. So we know that if the human being want to be safely existed in this world, we need peace. And how this peace is made? Peace is made through morality. And how the morality is made or it being executed in the society, it is by the countries and their laws that frame by a country. We know that actually the morality can be framed and it can be executed by the laws of every nation. We know that if you want to make or exist the morality, the criminology is essential. My dear buddies, we know that we are invented and we are encouraging the peace of human being in this world. How? We know that there are many countries and there are many organizations they are working to bring out peace in the nations, especially for the people and also for the society. Dear buddies, we are discussing about the criminology in Islam. So first of all, we understand that criminology is existing in every country and in every nation. Why? Because a safe living of the people is only made by the existence of criminology in every nation. And we know that each and every nation has its own criminology and its own laws and regulations to exist the safe living of the people. And when we are checking the laws and the rules and regulations of other nations, we know that they have their own laws. They have their own laws framed by its governments and people. And that is what the case of in Islam also. Islam has its own criminological law and Islam is going through that way. I'm coming to my topic. The core point of my topic, that the concept of Islam in the criminology is that the Quran says that inna fil qisasi la hayatun. Actually, the sentence is very beautiful. Inna fil qisasi la hayatun. Actually, the criminology is about killing the people and it is giving punishment to people. But how Islam is presenting it, Islam says that inna fil qisasi la hayatun. There is life. There is life in the criminology. Actually, we know that Islam is telling to kill people. Actually, you know that many people are telling that why Islam, the laws of Islam is so brutal. Why Islam is killing people? Just take that case of every nation and every country in this world. They are using and executing many ways to how to implement. The question is that only the point is how these nations are implementing the criminology, how they are giving these punishments. You know that India has its own laws and America has its own laws. Even recently, America has invented a mode of punishment that using by current, punishing the people by sticking current to them. So it's a way. And what is the utmost punishment that is given by Islam? The utmost punishment that is given by Islam is nothing but it is a capital punishment. That is going on every nation in these days. And why people are raising criticism against Islam? Because it is not understanding the fact about the criminology of Islam. My dear buddies, I'm just taking your point, taking your attention to the important point that India is being a country. India has its own laws. And what is Islam? Islam is the religion of Allah. And it has a criminology. It is decided by Allah. Who is inventing the criminology of India? The proponents of the law. We know about our constitution and our criminology and the recent nyaya, a new mode of punishment and laws. So that's why Islam has already famed. It is a religion of Allah and it is the laws of Allah, that Allah is deciding the law. My dear buddies, so nobody can criticize the law by telling that Islam is Islam is putting forward some brutal laws. So The question is that my next point I want to tell you is that actually were these laws of criminal or the criminology is executed in the Islamic criminology is executed in an Islamic state. Only under the Khalifa, under the head of state, it is only implemented. It is not done by individuals. So, who is getting these punishments? By the people who is ready to accept Islam, by the people who is ready to obey the rules of Islam. And if others are, what about the others? It's something about the dhimmi. Islam is giving protection by its own army. If they are ready to and if they are ready to obey the rules and regulations of Islam, Islam is okay. Islam is ready to give them the army protection of Islam. Otherwise, it is like that someone who is trading a nation. That's why Islam is not giving protection to them. So the time is okay. I hope that you have got some idea that if we want if we need morality in the nation or in the world, criminology is essential. So let's have the questions now.
According to Islamic criminology, if all witnesses testify, a person can be punished for adultery. So, if people conspire and exploit this law, won't social justice be averted?
One more.
According to Islamic criminology, if all witnesses testify, a person in presence can be punished for adultery. So, if people conspire and exploit this law, won't social justice be subverted?
Actually, there is no room for justifying. Actually, you know that we are telling that the rules of Islam is so brutal. But think about what are the certain laws and rules and regulations that is putting forward by Islam. Taking the question is about adultery or the post-trade issues of Islam. Islam is saying that the four persons who actually you know that in the case of Islam, adultery is haram. And the law of Islam, we know that there are many laws in India. If somebody is doing it in front of the road, you take the case, we don't use the vehicle law say that don't go without helmet, and we are simply going through the street and road with helmet. What is this? Likewise, Islam is saying that the prostitute or the adultery is haram. And what is doing? It is doing such public. Islam is not that if you four witnesses seeing in CCTV camera, but crystal clear. The action should be seen in crystal clear. And I know that you know how the Islamic texts are telling that the case of adultery in such imaginary way that there should be the four witnesses should be seen in crystal clear way. And if one is just first of all, he is telling that we four witnesses have seen it, and after some time, if one is going back or I have not seen, the three persons will be getting punishment, beating for that certain that they are accusing a law, they are accusing against that person that he has done prostitute or adultery. That is Islam is if somebody is coming forward, he has done adultery and just moving forward, no, the others will be punished in such a way. So Islam has closed all the doors of misunderstandings.
I hope that you know the Palakkad basis Manu's history. In that sense, will you agree with cutting someone's right hand if he steals? Because in Islam, the right hand of thief should be cut off.
Yeah, who is getting these laws? For a Muslim, he is ready to obey the rules of Allah. This criminology is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we know that if you can kill, that was on a point I am telling that in a fil qisas ila hayatun means if we are killing one person and we are saving thousands of lives. Actually, what is going today? We know that India has many laws, and the people are not ready to do that. Even there is capital punishment. People don't know. People know that there is going to happen anything. If I kill a person, there is nothing. If I steal something, money from anyone, there is no problem. We are going to survive the laws of the Indian government. But in Islam says that if you steal, your hand should be chopped off, and the person will be At, if one person's hand will be chopped off, what will be our mindset towards it? We'll be not going to steal the next day. If the laws, the rules and regulations should be applied in a correct manner, and that is what Islam is doing. So, if one person's hand is being chopped off or one person is being killed, the next one is not ready to do it. So, we are saving the life of thousands, we are saving the money of thousands. So, it's okay to have some laws, and that is the law of Islam, and the people is ready to accept it. In an Islamic state, the rule is where is being executed in an Islamic state. He is a Muslim, he know the Islamic rules and regulations, and everything, so he is ready. So what's problem with it? And in the case of Palakkad, it is not Islamic state. India is not an Islamic state. The Palakkad constitution is an Islamic state. If it is India is an Islamic state, we will be applying that. It is not it is India, it has its own legal system, so we are not going to apply the criminology of Islam in India.
How can Islamic criminals laws be deemed fair when they enforce punishments on the accused that might not align with contemporary values, which emphasize protection and human treatment even for prisoners?
Still one more. The question is not clear. Sorry.
How can Islamic criminal laws be deemed fair when they enforce punishments on the accused that might not align with contemporary values, which emphasize protection and human treatment for prisoners?
Actually, the Islamic. I hope that you're reading the question and I'm not getting the correct meaning, as it is not in a way of questioning. I have some doubts, even so, even though I will try to answer. We know that there are certain laws and regulations in Islam, and Islam is also giving. We know that if in the case of prisons or wherever it is, Islam is also considering the human rights. If you just think about every people or every system of governments and the treatment or how they treat people and how they treat the opposite peoples. Just I'm citing a relevant example. If the, actually people say that Islam is the criminology of Islam is being putting forward for killing a lot of lives. Actually, I have just addressed the question, or I have addressed and taken your attention to that matter that actually who is a dhimmi? He is against Islam. He is not ready to accept the rules and regulations of Islam. But actually, Islam is treating him in a human way. Islam is thinking that he is a human, and we know that we are not telling anyone to accept Islam. He can go with his own laws and rules and regulations. But if you want to live in an Islamic state, you have to follow these rules and regulations, and we will be giving you all the protection. We will be saving you. The law says that, you know, that I have just mentioned that the Islam is using, if he is ready to give jizya, Islam is giving all protection by the army. What is giving to a non-Muslim, the same thing is giving to the Muslim. So there is no difference between Muslim and non-Muslim. Islam is keeping and going with a good human manner and a human mindset towards the people.
Nowadays, there are many scientific treatments for the culprits, such as there are counseling centers and psychiatric treatments. Then why should we follow a severe and unbearable penal code?
Actually, I have addressed the question. Actually, we are thinking from the framework of outside the framework of Islam or outside the box of Islam. How it is becoming unbearable. We have known that, we have heard more many speeches and the new modern thoughts. But think about that. This is the first answer for this question is that this is Islam. This is the criminology of Islam. It is created by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the people who is ready to obey Islam, to accept Islam. So, and I hope that I earlier I answered that it is not what unbearable. If you are killing one people, we are saving thousands lives. If you are cutting or chopping off the hands of a one person, we are saving a thousands from it. The counseling and other rules and things are he is given by, he is also included in the concepts of Islam. But being a criminology, if you want to make a system more protective, we have to take some strong decisions in the criminal laws in some situations. At that time, we don't want to be indifferent to do that. Take that one step at that correct point, and you're saving 1,000 lives from being you are saving 1,000 lives from other killings or other wrong activities. So it's a system. We want to maintain and balance the society, the peace and morality. So some strong decisions and strong punishment should be taken on that time. That's what Islam is taking. So I hope that you have got the idea. Wa akhiru dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.